I believe we are doing well where we are. And so we have a very wonderful discussion today. This will be the 13.3 discussion on leadership, organized by the Physical Science and Technology arm of the Nigerian Young Academy. And so I am Engineer Dr. Adeleke Adekunle Akoni, the head of the Department for Mechanical Engineering at University of Nigeria, a member of the Physical Science and Engineering. Dr. Atolani Olubunmi is a natural products medicine synthesis organic chemist with many years of teaching and research experience in the university system. Academically, he has BSc and MSc chemistry obtained in 2003 and 2007, respectively. He obtained his PhD in chemistry 2013 from the University of Ilorin, Nigeria, investigating, synthesizing, and characterizing the anti-cancer, antioxidants, cytotoxicity, potential of bioactive and derivative principle of a novel medicinal African folklore, using various techniques of bioactive exploration and spectroscopy. Characterization lies in organic synthesis, chemoinformatics, application of tools for drug discovery in cancer, diabetics, malaria, and infectious condition, as well as green cosmeceuticals exploration. That's from underlying structure. In recent time, he has been dedicated to research on cytometrics, a branch of informatics with emphasis on global institution ranking. He has stints in postdoctoral research training at the University of Medicine, Berlin, Germany, on 2 different occasions. He is currently an investigator in various research groups and has won many international, national, and institutional competitive scientific research grants. Awards as Dutch, Germany, UNESCO, TOAS DFG, CIIT, Seeding Lab Equipment Grants, USA, European Association of Cancer Researchers, TETFund Raw Materials Grants, etc. He has been speaker at many national and international academic research forums. He has authored over 100 peer-reviewed journal articles, Scopus Index majority of it, several book chapters, and delivered numerous plenary and conference keynote addresses. He was the pioneer managing editor of the Annals of Science and Technology published by the Grutea Sciendo in Europe, and an editorial board member of various international scientific journals. He's a member of American Chemical Society, European Association of Cancer Researchers, Royal Society of Chemistry, Institute of Chartered Chemists of Nigeria, Chemical Nigeria, and Nigeria Young Academy. He was the publicity secretary of the renowned Nigeria Young Academy, NYA, between 2013 and 2015. He is currently a faculty member at the University of Ilorin, Nigeria, where he passionately teaches and supervises both undergraduate and postgraduate system. I want us to welcome Dr. Atolani as he takes up the platform for discussion. Thank you so much for joining us. And please, all our participants, please note your questions while this presentation is ongoing. If possible, you can write them down at the chat section, or you please note them down. Thank you so much. Dr. Atolani, over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to believe I'm very audible.
Yeah,
yes,
we can
hear you.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was actually still arranging myself, being the second speaker as denoted. But all the same, I appreciate this opportunity.
So sorry for that.
Thanks. Yeah, so I have a straightforward presentation today, and I am thinking that it's going to be a compliment to the first speaker, but we're talking about transformational leadership, the role, and the responsibility. I think I should first acknowledge the NYA for the opportunity to give this presentation. It's a lot of effort on your side, and I know there have been a series of presentations, particularly on leadership on the platform of the Physical Sciences and Engineering Working Group. I acknowledge the presence of many senior colleagues. I could see some of them online, and some fellows of the academy, and a number of colleagues. I know we see some professors, some associate professors, and a number of people all over Nigeria and even beyond. So the presence is quite well acknowledged. My job is simple, and I'm going to go straight because we are talking about transformation, non-leadership, the root, the roles, and the responsibility. So it's talking about not just leadership, but transformational leadership. I also want to believe that you are seeing my screen. You will permit me to be a little bit fast so that I can finish everything I have within the limited allotted to me. I am going to be speaking to this hotline, but eventually, essentially rather, we need to first brainstorm and look at some of the issues so that we don't just jump into transformational leadership, particularly for those who are joining this series of leadership workshop or training for the first time. We talk about types of leadership. So we have the corporate leadership, we have the societal leadership, dealing with more of social issues, and we have knowledge, which I believe a large number of the audience today belong to. That's talking about academic leadership or leadership within the academic sector. You're a leader of your research group, you are holding one position or the other in your institution or whatever.
Next week.
Then we also have the religious leadership, and we have political leadership. And unfortunately, the truth is that many academics have shelved away from this aspect of political leadership as a result of being focused on research, and their leadership skills is not developed. But the truth is that not all of us, let me say, will remain in academic leadership forever. And you can have an example of the current Speaker of the House. We know he's a doctor, and then he has academic background up to that level. But now he's only a prominent political position. So whether political or religious, yes, the presentation is going to cover essentially, but maybe we also need to look at a little bit of more aspect of this leadership training, particularly in the academic sector, because once you are good in that aspect, definitely you will transfer those traits and quality to the other part. We actually also talk about some of these fundamental of leadership, and I'm going to quickly speak to that for the sake of the paucity of time that I have. We currently live in a world of confusion and without direction. The clueless rule the informed, the well-trained, the well-informed, but the informed care less about the reading of the clueless. And that's why if you look at the picture, you see there is a simple solution sitting by the side of this map, but unfortunately there is no clue, there is no guidance, and a little thing will have made a lot of difference. So the person in the pitch is helpless, the person up cannot also help. So we have leadership capacity dwindling, and everyone suffer innocently, innocuously, and deplorably. And it's not only the political sector that suffers, the literary suffers, the academic suffers, the nation suffers, the world suffers, the whole globes. I eventually have a taste of it. So, no system or nation or institution advance beyond the level or capacity of our leadership. So that's why leadership is very, very paramount. We must start talking about it from the cradle. We don't need to get to the level that we have. Some of us as lecturers, or we have some students under our training, we have some postgraduate students, and all categories of persons. This is the time to inculcate some of these leadership skills in them. Not all of them will end up in the academic arena. Even if they are, some of them will be picked into political arena, some of them serve in religious leadership position. And if we know we want to make a lot of difference, that's why this leadership training is very, very handy and very important that we must talk about it. And if you look at this slide, there was a report this year, 2023, about the global leadership forecast, and it's painted a very worrisome trend, particularly about the declining nature of quality of leadership all over the world. So it's not only Nigeria that is affected, actually. Maybe we are worse hit, I would say that. But we have a global trend. This study was conducted over 50 countries, and close to 14,000 leaders were examined. They discovered that there has been about 70% drop in the quality of leadership. That's why so many global bodies today are not talking about leadership development for the young. So we have the Young Leadership Development Program, we have the YALI, we have the Creative Youth Leadership Academy, we have the Young Leadership Network, a number of them all over the world. In fact, many of them are coming into our country to come and train our people because they know that, like the president said in his opening, parts of a problem that impede our movement or advancement to the other pathways as a leadership. And it's important that we all look at this while the global world also in our head. I must say that a program in patriotism of cheers and weeping profusely emotionally within me when you see young researchers and academics ruining their academic career and their prospect for leadership. They ruin their integrity, they ruin their chance, because they get themselves involved with so many unethical practices. And sometimes some of these practices start from publication, from their work, going to all form of things, which is not the focus of today. But the leadership quality of maybe the mentor or the supervisor would have, in a way, guided such a person, because sometimes you discover that images are tinted forever, because some of the things they do go on the internet and they remain permanent. And that's why young people's ambition becomes abrogated, abolished, dented, shattered, and suffocated, because they have no clear vision, no clear goal about their future and even about their leadership capacity. They are focusless, impactless, impressive, and purposeless because they lack true leadership. Yeah, this is still like as a form of preamble to what I'm talking about. So they imagine researchers without leadership school will soon be strangulated, will be subdued, and will be suppressed. And that to affect the entire nation, to affect the city, nobody will be immune to some of the impacts of these things. So why should everyone develop these leadership skills before we now go into talking about the real transformation leadership? Young researchers today, they are the future of tomorrow. And the future is nearer than we could imagine. In 10 years of this time, some of the students in our domain, for instance, for those who are lecturers or young researchers, in the 10 years from this time, you can imagine where some of them will be, occupying top echelon of the political world, even the research world, holding positions in the universities and beyond. And the quality they have now are the things they're going to help them. Many researchers, scientists, they fail at leadership level. They bust lifetime opportunity because they don't have the vision, they don't have the goal, and nobody is guided them in the line of such thing. We also need to know that building quality leadership skills takes time. And as a result of that, there is a need for continuous investment in this aspect of leadership interest of our students or young people who are under tutelage. Yeah, this is actually not only focused on the students or in the academic world, but nonetheless, you know that academic accomplishment and leadership are inseparable. We cannot separate them. Somebody is going to be a good leader, must also have some of this quality. There is a common saying that sometimes we have so many scientists who are bad administrators. It's not that they are deliberately bad administrators. They have got no good mentor, they have got no good instructor, they have got no good leader who channel them in the right path. So we have good leaders. They don't imagine the day. It takes a process, it takes patience. And bad leaders can't make a better follower. So if you have a bad student or bad follower, eventually you can be sure that you're going to read a follower that is not going to be transformational. So leadership here today is readily a recipe for future tomorrow. Now, let me quickly mention one or two facts about leadership as we continue. Now, leadership is not restricted to any position or age. Young leaders may be older or younger. I mean, your leader may be older or younger. By implication, this is simply saying that contrary to the traditional definition of leadership that we have. Leadership cut across all age. Now, but when you look at some of these people in the European world who are top managers and leaders of big companies, multinational companies, and nature, some of them are just 30 or even some of them 20. So you begin to see that and they provide good leadership that helps the companies or the institution to stand. Therefore, leaders are made, they are not born. Yes, that's contrary to some of that school of thought, theory by some person. But that time permits, I'm also going to talk about that. So, true leaders do not look for followers, actually, as a fact, because they are busily pursuing the influential dreams that followers will trust to act for them. And there are people who are good leaders. Even when some of their mentees leave them, yes, they are still in contact because they know they have a lot to learn for them. So followers look for influence that can be obtained from self-leaders. From the age of traditional leader, like I said, has expired. So we are no longer in the dispensation of age and experience for leadership. We are in the era of knowledge and information. So information leads a true leader, and a true leader leads others. You can be in your room, right? This is also a quote that's from somebody. Just develop your potential, publicize them, and you will see people looking for you to mentor them, to lead them, even to appoint into various positions because of the quality they have seen in you at one time or the other. So these are reasons why we must quickly talk about this. So that influences a lot of people down the line. Real transformational leaders are people whose heads are crowned with dreams. They sit on the throne of passion. They rule with the vision in the regalia of inspiration. So they have inspiration to guide the people. It's not by force, it's not by coercion, but they know that they have some things that people really look out for. Well, it's also important to mention that being a political leader or a political involvement is not necessarily about, it's not necessarily making somebody a leader. So it's never been, and it will never be. That's according to Richie Norton. Now, also, according to John Quincy Adam, if your action inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, you are apparently a leader, whether defined in the conventional way or not. So there is also this common theory that this great man theory that says that leaders are born. There are some people who are born to lead. That's contrary to some of there are a number of theories that we have. That people are born, they are born with charisma, they are born with confidence, they are born with intelligence and some social skills that qualify them to be a natural leader. But they also have some other theories. I'm not going to talk about that so much for the sake of time, institutional leader, behavioral theories, and so on and so forth. Now we have this as subject of translational leadership, not just about leadership, but precisely about translational, transformational rather leaders. It's also different from transactional leadership because we have this confusion about that. We have this basic type of leadership, and that's to make us narrow down to the transformational leadership we're talking about today. The democratic, the autocratic, the laissez-faire, which is actually talking about the delegative leadership, the bureaucratic, the servant leaders, and so on and so forth. Now we have transactional leaders, which is a form of leadership, and it's essentially the opposite to transformational leader. This slide shows some of the difference, but I want to try to be more empirical in it. Now, the transactional leader, which is also grouped entirely by it motivates using rewards and punishment. So when we have people, maybe we are climbing the ladder of leadership, or we are being trained as a mentee for leadership, some of these ones, the leaders try to the training, I would say, irrespective of age or level or position the person is operating, with rewards and maybe punishment to make them accomplish a certain goal. But a transformational leader motivates with enthusiasm and charisma and inspiration. It tends to make somebody to see that, oh, there is a need for you to do this, and the person, without much coercion, without being forced, the person goes into it, and then with commitment and with the long-term focus in the sight, he pursues it as a transformational leader. And that also makes use of intrinsic reward and esteem pride. But the other one makes use of extrinsic reward pay, promotion. Yeah, those ones like we have in the academic sector today. So many people are just advancing because, they believe that they are becoming a leader because they are getting promotion, publishing, and doing some of those things. But being a transformational leader is actually beyond that. And the reward is somebody to be proud of the person that is being trained for. So we have a transformational leader been defined as a leadership approach that causes change in an individual social system, and in its ideal form, it creates valuables and positive change in followers with the end goal of developing followers into leaders. It's not just about you are a servant, you're a leader, you're working just to do it, but there is an end goal that is in target, in focus, that they want the person to attain eventually in the future. So we have this basic fulcrum in which transformational leaders it builds upon. But generally we have leadership being built on authority, built on power, built on influence, and acted with wisdom. Imperatively, the transformational leadership deals with the influence, positive influence without coercion, and that's what makes a number of people to stick to a particular role model or mentor, as the case may be, and because of some of those benefits. So transformational leaders will have these elements: the intellectual stimulation, the capacity to stimulate the creativity in somebody, that makes somebody to be innovative and then pursue the goal. Then we also have the other element, the individualized consideration, the idealized influence, and then the inspirational motivation. Yeah, there's no we talk about leadership, we talk about role model, we talk about being influential. Therefore, transformational leadership traits involve some of these. I will skip some of them. One, they are able to encourage others to communicate and participate in a particular task through motivation. They are adaptable, they have creativity, and then it brings a lot of inspiration and willingness to take responsibility. Transformational leadership effect. What are the effects we get? One, there is a better performance. Those led by transformational leaders or individuals, they tend to perform better and satisfactorily, and like I emphasized, that's being coerced. Beyond that, there is also a better well-being. The employee reported higher levels of well-being. This is according to a particular research I'm citing it. And also, the sense of empowerment. They know that they are being empowered independent of the presence of the person who is their leader. So this is attributed to the fact that the transformational leader believe that their followers can do their best, members to feel inspired and also to feel empowered. Therefore, we have the developing stages that the transformational leaders who want to acquire some skills need to actually look into. So we have number one, these transformational skills: genuineness, being passionate and supportive, and trustworthy. The question there is, if you are a leader, for instance, you have followers, you have mentee, can your mentee follow you blindly? Even when they cannot see far, can he just close his eyes and say, oh, this is what my leader has said? That's a transformational leader. And a transformational leader will definitely build or raise another transformational leader. So they see the passion in them, they see the action in them. They are not just an authoritarian, and they are building some important concepts in them. The concepts of these transformational leaders involve one, mentorship, leadership, as well as the role model. Yeah, there is a difference, there are differences between mentorship and being a role model. The roots, now we talk about the roots of a transformational or to transformational leadership. If you look at this picture very clearly, you will discover that this vehicle, very rough, very dirty, muddy, undesired, and it's not looking enticing at all. But something is very clear. If this vehicle is going on a voyage and maybe enter into such a situation or condition, And you just have to keep going. The weather is not conducive, the environment is not safe, and whatever. Now, let's assume that we have passengers with the drivers in this vehicle. They will not lose their confidence in their leader because, one, they know their leader has a clear vision. Something is not covered in the vehicle. Once that is covered, then both the leader and the follower are going to perish. So in this case, there is already a build of trust that even if anything happens, these people know that they must keep a clear vision. And so they'll continue to on their journey until they get to the head. So one of the important things we talk about, there are many of them, we cannot exhaust them in one meeting, but just a few of them, is a clear goal and purpose. Whether you have been trained to be a leader or you're already in a leadership position, of course, there is no end to learning. So leaders need to be optimistic. Their vision must be clear beyond the present. They must be seen beyond, seen into the future, beyond their presence. So the keeping of the vision clear is one of the important rules. You may not have the entire blueprint to how the whole journey will look like, but you can perceive the end. You can perceive the goal that, oh, yes, going somewhere, and that thing, there will definitely be obstacles, but your inner vision, your clear vision will keep you going. Now, there is a particular person that inspires me so much. That's actually when first man, 1904 to 1979, and I have tried to read a lot about him, read about his leadership style, and look at some of his focus and passion. And particularly what makes me so interested in Wena is because where I work in the University of Charité, I was also where I was two different occasions. Now, this happened to be a German researcher and a physician. He had a clear vision, he had a goal. He knew he was going somewhere, but the path was rough. There has been a kind of anesthesia they've been performing, and the number of operations they do in the medical world in those days. But particularly, this man was saying, people are dying of heart problem. They have series of cardiac arrest, they have series of heart failure, a series of blood pressure problems in the hearts, and a series of defect that is killing people. Because people don't have, physicians around and they don't have access to the heart. But this man had a vision, he had a goal, and he had a purpose that, we can pass a particular tube into the heart and then use that to study the heart. But the Charité institution at that time did not give him the ethical approval. But this man, one day, precisely in 1929, called the nurse, got himself anesthesiated, and then he injected a catheter through his arm down into his heart. That's the thing, and then it was a very funny, I would say, experiment, conducting such an experiment on himself. Now he took the X-ray and it eventually got the tube down to the heart. And eventually, when the news came out, this man was in prison. It's an unethical practice. You cannot do this and that. In fact, he was dismissed for unethical practice. But in prison, eventually he was released. A few years after that, precisely 1956, he got the Nobel Prize in Medicine for developing a procedure that allowed cardiac catheterization. And that's why they are doing the cardiac catheterization as a result of this man took a risk to do. So there are elements of risk when it comes into leadership. Of course, sometimes some risk doesn't want it. But when you read about this man's leadership style, his inspiration, and then you begin to see what are the mentors of today passing across to their followers. Now, number two thing we also need to talk about is the readiness to break territory and boundaries. The leaders dare the unthinkable. So if you have a leader, a transformational leader, that everything is just normal about him, is not getting grant. If as a student, for instance, a postgraduate student, as the case may be, maybe he's not getting grant, he's not getting scholarship, he's not publishing in high impact factor journal, there's nothing so tangible about him. No matter the sweetness of the word, he's able to be an inspirational, transformational leader. So he is not leader who who breaks no territory or dare to break territory. So people want to see some of us who are a little bit advancing, maybe professionals and the like. I'm also trying to advance also. I'm Silana. But then there is the need, breaking of the territories or some boundaries, whether in the political world, in the academic world, as the case may be. I use this example of this man, Francis, that shows us. The man, I want to believe, I just read a little about him. He carefully selected somebody to mentor him because he was going in for a real business to fight in the terrain he was not so much familiar with. And then he needed somebody to build his confidence, somebody who have experienced such and who knows what it's all about to be in the ring with the heavyweight champion. And so he apparently used that to build his confidence beyond the training and so many other things. And that's also to pass a fear across to the opponent. Now, these are some of the things that the readiness to break boundaries, a leader or a mentor must go into. Now, leaders also have mentors. Even when you are a leader, you still get to discover that you need a mentor. I was in a particular meeting with my vice chancellor here at the University of Ilorin some few days ago, and he was making reference to a particular person I don't want to mention, that he is his mentor. And I began to wonder, you're the vice chancellor, so you still have a mentor. Even though your mentor has never, perhaps have not been occupied the position, maybe he has occupied the position, but no, you begin to imagine somebody at that level is having a mentor. A mentor's vision is beyond the present, like I reiterated earlier on. A mentor is not someone who walks ahead of you to show you how they did it. A mentor is a person who walks alongside to show you what to do and how you do it. And this is what must be inculcated into the upcoming young scientists or young researchers of people in the academia. Because it's not just look at the way I've done it, but we inspire you to tell you this is the way you could do it to make it and make a lot of achievements. So he is a mentor. A mentor can be of any age, like I said, it's not a function of age, it's information age, and it could be in any field. It could be in your field, out of your field, but you have a close relationship that you can derive a lot of leadership skills and training to guide you in the future. And so we not define that in the traditional form. Who is your mentor? That's the question being asked now. Even though some of us are at level of leadership, who is your mentor? I remember when I was in the deputy director position in the Center for International Education, a number of things, well, maybe time will not permit me to talk about it. But the question that we have is, do you admire this person you call your mentor for his vision? Do you admire him for his achievements to be your mentor? Are you proud to be associated with that? Has he ever reached out? We have so many people, I'm sorry to mention, please pardon me for saying this. We have a number of professors who have never gone outside the country. They have not even taken vehicle to Ghana or to Nigeria and their republic. Maybe for academic conference, for exposure to get some tips about their field out of their boundary. How will such a person mention somebody is going to be a good global scholar? Is going to be a transformation leader in future. And these are some of the people we have that may not be able to pass across some of this leadership training down the drain to some of the other person that needs it. Have your mentor, have you want to give grants? Does he push? Even if he doesn't get it, does he make effort? Does it inspire you to do some of this? Are you able to work with this person? Do you feel free communicating? That's what distinguishes a mentor for a role model. Do you have communication? Can you make this question? Can you ask questions? The connectivity is there. Maybe as a supervisor, maybe as they are approachable. Is your mentor. Can this person guide you towards the actualization of your global dream that you want to go beyond where it stopped? Is he proud to send you beyond where it stopped? So leadership, transformational leaders, you have this element of mentorship also. The mentor-mentee relationship. Mentorship does not necessarily mean somebody who is telling you what to move or what to take, what to move. It's far beyond that. It's about somebody encouraging you to discover yourself, your capacity, the inbuilt ability for you to go beyond the level he is able to reach. So a good mentor will guide, will not guide, will not advise, will not just advise me. We inspire, will not just motivate. We critique, will not judge. We share idea and option, but not to do it for you. So a transformational leader, a visionary, they are impacting others. They are successful leaders in their own way, and they see opportunity in every difficulty rather than the difficulty in every opportunity. There are people that quit at every challenges of maybe making a high impact job publication, and there are challenges here, they quickly switch, and there is no resilience. Now, these are things that must be inculcated even as either a mentor into the mentee. So we have a role model and the mentor quite different. And let me quickly just mention one or two things about it. That a role model, usually you see them at a distance. A whole number of things may be interesting, but maybe a whole number are also not interesting to you. But a mentor is usually a professional person. You have a direct contact, and then you have the ideas, and some is not really like a mystery. So you carefully choose. Sometimes you might choose a role model because of the one quality, and then some other things. But usually a mentor, maybe you find through a mentoring program, maybe by coincidence, maybe by accident, as the case may be. But irrespective of where the person is, you have access to such person. And that distinguishes a role model for a mentor. So we are actually emphasizing the mentorship aspect of it in transformational leadership. We have examples of this man in South Africa. Yes, he was in prison. He had a number of things. And then when you read about this Nelson Mandela, you got to know that he's a role model to many other persons. But when you also read some other things, you say, oh, is he really a mentor? Well, we need role models. We need mentors in our society, in every system. But our focus and emphasis today is much more on this aspect. So a mentor needs you to grow. But role model, commitment inspire you to grow. You see their commitment, you see the lifetime, then you get to say, now look at this picture. You might see this the elephant leading the giraffe on a voyage to this point. Now, at this point, you will discover that, yes, actually, this represents a mentorship. Now, this is also what you have in this particular case of the father, guiding his child side by side, and they're moving, making progress, and eventually, with time, the child, with good confidence, they will be able to stand on his own. So we have that difference between a role model and a mentor. So we're not talking about a role model per se. So is this person happy about his or her career, or maybe his company, and he's just managing? That person cannot be a good transformational leader. There are many successful leaders who are bad mentors. They are not transformational leaders. So many supervisors fall into this category. In fact, there are supervisors that may not be able to train people successfully, mentor people successfully because of some of these traits. And that is why there is a need for constant training and retraining, so that people who are underneath tutelage or learning under us can have this quality. Transformational leaders are also learners. This is about the number 4. If you must be a transformational leader, you must also be a learner. So you learn to lead, then you need to learn. Transformational leaders are transforming leaders. Transformational leaders are transforming. They are transform themselves, and they have the capacity to transform others once. So leadership and learning are indispensable, according to John Fitzgerald Kennedy. A mentor has this personal relationship with humanity, and the model, however, is remote. Now, conventionally, we talk about the roles and responsibility of transformational leaders as I get towards the winding. Of course, you know there's a difference between the roles and the responsibility. I know my time is running very fast, so I'm going to skip some of these slides. As part of the role of a transformational leader, we have they are leading change, the motivational, they are approaching resistance, and they are building influence and making influence in the life of some of the mentoring of the leading. We have these 4 elements of transformational leaders. A transformational leader has idealized influence. In fact, this sounds to be more or less like number 1, which is a product of inspiration and motivation in a way that translates into influence. The intellectual capacity to stimulate the follower is also imperative, because a transformational leader must have the hiking. When you look at some of our leaders in this nation, many years ago, we talked about the Harpers of those days, talking about the Azikwe, and talking about some of them. You discover that their intellectual capacity was quite very high, and then they are able to mobilize the region, able to mobilize, and then they go towards achieving a goal, and because of the influence. And that's why some people can go die for that, because they know that this is a leader to die for, because of the quality they have been inspired onto them. So leadership is a ladder, and we must climb it. And mentorship is a platform of which everybody must utilize. So a leader can also be a mentor, while a leader can also be a mentee at the same time. You also the scripture, it says it doesn't matter how many resources you have. Sometimes you just need a leader to give you an insight. You don't need so much leaders. If you don't know how to use them, then you definitely need a mentor. You definitely need a leader with foresight and insight to simply guide. So you might have a number of good resources all around you. And that's why you get some people, they're getting patents from their research work, because they have proper mentoring. But people who don't have that, they go on to publish out their work, and they make a lot of publication, make a lot of a number. But what could have fetched them a whole lifetime fortune for maybe a single patent, they've lost that to publishing. It's no longer novice, it's no longer new, because of the proper guidance. Therefore, we don't need so many ladders. We just need one ladder that is right at the right time, at the right place to get to destination. Don't abuse the opportunities. It's a cancer, which comes as a responsibility. That if you must take responsibility to be a leader. If you must grow, if you must reach the peak, then there is the need for this, not to abuse opportunity, because opportunity comes but once. That's why I said I put down in parentheses of fear. When I see some of people, young people, particularly PhD students and doctoral students, who are already going the wrong way right from their student age. They're going to a lot of unethical practices. Some of them will put some of their name on the internet now. You're going to see some of the atrocities already performed. It's going to dent their image for life, because the internet doesn't forget, even when the institution forgets. So don't waste privilege, don't waste connection. There are times to come events, and then we just need just one opportunity to link up to that person, and who may eventually end up to be a lifetime mentor. So relationship or association may either make or mark you as a leader, who might a mentee, and could also build, as it could also build those depending on how you build it. So we must therefore be proactive as part of our responsibility and prioritize the leadership training. As we go about our studying medicine, studying engineering, studying every other thing, the aspect of leadership is very, very much imperative. That must be incorporated. That's why we have a number of courses and a number of coming up with that, and we must make use of this opportunity. And those who have the aim of fear must also make provision for this. There is a particular young boy who happened to be one of the leading publishers. I call him a boy because I could say it's a boy because of my relationship with him. He's one of the leading publishers, not a publisher, an author, I would say, in Nigeria today, as far as number of publications. So I got to interact with him a lot, and I asked him, young man, how are you able to churn out the number of quality publications on your work? Who is your mentor? Told me about his mentor, told me about his leadership. I told me about some of the things that he got from his father, who happened to be his first mentor, his first leader. It's right from there, right from the cradle where he was being brought up by the father. He has learned to eat fast, to write fast, to walk fast, to type fast, to read fast, to do everything fast. So that eventually trained this boy. When he got to the university, this thing naturally emerged from him. And today, he's been celebrated for it. So that's some of the responsibility we must make as a priority. Besides that, there is also this objectivity. I think my time is running fast. Moderator, do I still have time?
Yes, sir. You have time, sir. Please continue. You have time.
Oh, thank you very much. No, I'm closer to the end already. We also talk about this objectivity as a responsibility to become a transformational leader in future. You still are growing up the ladder. You must focus on the objective of leading others. Like I said, opportunity comes once, but when it comes, you grab it, you utilize it, and make the perfect use of it, because the opportunity may not come again, and you must avoid dream killers, purpose destroyer, and time waster. Yeah, I'm closer to the end already. So
please continue, sir. Please continue, sir. You have time. Continue, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Your leadership success is a function of your personal development. So when you get a lot of things, maybe from a leader, a transformational, for a mentor, get maybe one or two things for your role model, but you as a person, even as a leader, not to mention that as a mentee, that your leadership success is a function of your personal development. So you gotta read books, you gotta read the political leaders. A large number of them we can get from some of our political leaders. You might say they are not learned as we have, but we have a number of things. Their resilience, we could learn about the doggedness and a number of things. Their focus, a number of them failed a number of times before they got to where they are. We have an example of some of our past presidents, of people who have occupied one or the other political positions in this nation, even beyond, without looking so far, talking about Germany, Americas, and the like. We have a number of things. When you read some of, we have books on some of those things. So the responsibility as becoming a leader lies on your head. So indeed, your input or your output, as the case may be, will be unique as your fingerprint. Therefore, you are the next game changer. It doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what level you are, it doesn't matter whether you're a mentee. Even if you are a leader, a mentor, up to now, I want to say that the global world is waiting for us. The 21st century depends on us. The global world, not only Nigeria, it depends on leadership. If there's going to be a global peace, it depends on the young people today. It depends on the policy. It depends on the people that make the policy, people that get to the helm of affairs to make the policies, who eventually becomes the leader. If they have not been well trained now, they're going to mess up when they get there. They lose a lifetime opportunity, and everybody's going to suffer for it. So you are the game changer, especially if you're a young person here. If you got to make an impact, you are the impact maker. You are the inspirational leader of tomorrow. And that leadership skills start from now. You don't need to get to America before you start. You don't need to finish your PhD before you start your leadership development. You don't need to get to wherever level. The leadership development starts now. And you must believe in yourself that actually you have this capacity to lead a nation. You have the capacity to be a global leader. In the 21st century, I want to conclude by saying that the empirical Catholicon, for the de novo Tauruses and mendicants in Sois Fondé, despite about them faith, is to discover and develop transformational leaders, innovative leaders. It's going to change the world and change the world forever. So on this note, I want to thank the NYA. I didn't know I would have much time. I would have brought in some empirical examples of some of the countries I thought of bringing up, but I was thinking of the paucity of time. But it's my immense pleasure to thank the Nigerian Academy for this training. It's a series of leadership that will be going on for quite a while. And I trust that you will know the extent of which you are building leadership skills in some persons who will eventually emerge in the future. So I also want to thank the Physical Sciences and Engineering and Technology working group of the Nigerian Young Academy, and particularly the chairman, Dr. Isaac Adebashan, for the communication, the invitation, and then the reminder and every other things that you'll be doing. You and your team, I greatly acknowledge. Thank you so much, and the moderator and all distinguished participants. I sincerely thank you for listening. I'm sure we have a number of erudite scholars, leaders, professors who are also online, and I believe that they do a number of justice to some of the things that have apparently just omitted. And I'm sure maybe we'll have some other interaction from other young persons also. So thank you very much for your attention.